and we are going to talk about. So, very fast, many of you are thinking of planning and wondering what we are going to discuss. You know, the year is coming to an end, and many people are thinking of, okay, I need to plan for next year. I mean, if you are in an organization, you're planning for next year so that you see how the year starts. And so planning is basically what we are going to look at, and also to help us prepare our plans for next year as individuals. The reason we organize this Lunch and Learn series is help us with personal development, our own personal development, because you cannot develop your organization or your business if you have not developed yourself. So we always equip you with different skills that will help you in your personal development. So this month we are looking at planning, and as I said, this is going to help us to be able to plan for our next year. But let's look at planning. Fulgencia is helping me with the slides because I'm using my phone. So Fulgencia, you can share the next slide where we are going to ask ourselves, what will we cover today? So planning, we're going to talk about what planning is, why do we have to plan, how to plan, and then at the end of it all, we shall have an illustration of how we can actually plan. So basically, that's what we're going to cover in today's session. And so let's start with what is planning. I think all of you have a rough idea on what planning is. But one is for you to think about planning, you must have a goal, a desired goal. You must have, where do you want to go? So you have to start by thinking. So the thought process, it's a thought process that has a number of activities that will lead us to our desired goal. And in my presentation today, I want to use an example of a journey, planning for a journey. So if you have a journey, where are you going? That's the first, where is your destination? So you need to have where you want to be. If you want to, at the end of the year, next year, what do you want to achieve? What's your goal in next year? So one, you need to know your goal, then think about the activities that are going to help you reach your goal. If it's a journey, where are you going to pass to reach your destination? Next slide. Sorry, I can't do it myself, but yes. So it brings us to the question, why do we need to plan? The reason we want to plan is to have clarity, number one, like how the journey is, where are you going to pass? There is a saying that if you don't know where you are going, you will never get lost. If you don't know where you're going, you'll never get lost because you actually don't know where you're going. So anywhere you arrive, anywhere you are at, you will. But when you have a goal, so you will know, I am going to Jinja. So where am I going to? Clarity. Where am I going to pass? And then, of course, the other question is, do I have the capacity? So the capacity is about how am I going to reach? And of course, the reason we plan is to have some kind of peace. Because if you are not planned, then you are always you're not sure. And I want to give that many of us, because we are good crisis managers, we don't plan because we know anyway we can always get out of it. But if you are in such a situation, then you have challenges of, you are always not at peace because you're like, what next? But when you have planned, you have peace. You know that from this, I'm going to this, I'm going to that. So you have peace of mind. You have a clear direction already that is already set out for you. Next. All right. So there's a quote here by Yogi Berra. You've got to be careful if you don't know where you are, because you may not get there. So for one to plan, you need to first know, where are you? I'm going to Jinja, yes, but where am I? I want to achieve this next year, but where am I? What's my position? Where do I fall? What do I want? So you need to know where you are first so that you are able to plan. You cannot plan from nowhere. You need a base. You need a base. And as they say, it's practically impossible to execute anything without a plan. So you can't execute anything without a plan, because it is the plan that will help you execute it. Unless, even in crisis management, as I said, the good crisis managers are bad planners. Even in crisis management, you will still need a plan. Only that it is not thought through. You just come up now with patching up things, but it's impossible to execute anything. So as we plan, as we think about next year, we need to think about our plans. What are we going to do? And but where are we now? So the starting point is knowing where you are, but also knowing where your destination is. So for the plan to work out well, you need to know where you are and where you are going. Then you can start the journey of setting out how are you going to achieve? How am I going to move from here to the next stage? How am I going to shift my business from where it is to another? So all these things about health and stuff like that. So let's go to the next slide. So how do we plan? How do we plan? Number one is we need to, as I said, find out where are we? Where am I? But even thinking about where am I now, we ask ourselves, how did I get here in the first place? So I am here. How did I get here? Then find out, especially now that we are going to start a new year. I am in 2024. How did I get to 2024? What worked for me in 2024? What worked for me? What are those good points? And we can never ignore them, because they will affect our next journey. If we don't think about what worked or how did I get here, then it will affect how we are going to move forward. So think about what worked for you this year, but what did not work? Think about what also did not work. Many times we come up with plans for the year, and we set the goals, and then at the end of the year we review and we just realize that we never achieved anything. So what didn't work? Then we also think of what have we learned from what has not worked and also what has worked. So what lessons do we get from that experience that we're able to get from the two things, what worked and what did not work, but also the experience of where we are. Then we need to change or do something differently. That is if you never achieve. Many times we set goals and maybe the goals are higher, but then we could also learn to pick what the things that worked for us. What did we do that worked for us, but what did we do that did not work for us, so that we see what do we continue doing or what do we need to do differently so that we can be able to achieve our goals. The next slide. All right, so there are plans that we have. These are the kinds of plans that we have. Of course, daily plan. We have weekly, we have monthly, we have quarterly, we have semi-annual, we have annual. Now, when we are planning for the year, it is good to have a comprehensive plan of what am I going to do on a daily basis. Start with your day, but in mind of the goal. One of the challenges that we have in planning is if we plan in piecemeal, we may never achieve. Actually, many times we can divert from our goal. So when you have your, what do I need to achieve? Maybe at the end of the year, And then you start scheduling in by mid-year, what should I have achieved that will help me achieve this at the end of the year? But also in the quarter of the year, what should I have achieved to help me reach there? And then go down to monthly, on a monthly basis. In the first month, what am I going to achieve? In the second month, what should I be able to achieve? But also coming down from the month, come back to the weekly, but also daily. And as you'll see in the coming slides, the planning should be a 360 degree planning. Don't only plan for one thing. Maybe you can share the next slide. Yes, don't only think about one sector of your planning. So these are kind of the areas where you can think about, especially when we are planning. So you plan spiritually, career, health, relationships, finance. If there's any other sector that you think you would also want to include it. Why? Because if you plan, for instance, you're going to plan about your health, but have you considered your finance? Can your finance help you in your health plan? Or is your spirituality going to help you in your work plan? So you need to do a 360 degree planning, that while I'm planning for my health, I need to look at other sectors of is my health planning for the year going to drain other sectors? Is because I may be planning for myself. I'm going to say I'm going to be more spiritual, I'll be going to church regularly, but the church affects your health because maybe you're now not doing exercise, or because you are doing exercise, your relationships are ending because you have no time for your friends. The time that was for exercise, the time for friends is the one that you have put up for. So when you're planning, have that comprehensive, the 360 degree planning, that you look at all the sectors and they should be able to fit in your plan. Yes, let's have all right. So we have here a planning framework that we just need to look at. And one, it should help us to be able to design our plans. So one of the things that you look at is what's your goal? And I going back to the 360, have set goals for each of the sectors. Set goals for each of the sectors. Is it health? Is it spiritual? Is it career? Is it what is your goal? So when you have that, then you're asking, why am I setting this goal? The why helps very much, because you may set a goal and you have no reason. You don't have a concrete reason. So at the end of it, when things are maybe not working well, you say, okay, I didn't have a reason why I was doing it. Then what actions will you take to achieve this goal? So for you to achieve this goal, what am I going to do? I want to be more healthy. But what am I going to do? What actions am I going to take on? Many times at the beginning of the year, we are setting goals of improving health. And on the day when we are starting the new year, we eat and forget that is the day one of the year. So yes, what actions are we going to take to achieve this goal? Then we need to have indicators that will show that you're on the right track. Let me give an example of the journey. I'm moving from here to Jinja. I need to have indicators to show me that I'm on the right track. So that maybe there is a signpost showing Jinja 30 kilometers. So I know, okay, I still have 13 kilometers to Jinja. But if you're on the way to Jinja and you see there is no indicator, you may actually realize you are in Kamuli. Maybe you have used Kayunga Road and you've left the Jinja Road. So we need to have indicators to show if it is health and you need to cut on you need to have indicators that will show that you are on the right track on your goal. So when will you achieve this goal? Is it at the end of the year? Is it mid-year? So for all the plans or for all the goals that we set, when we have indicators, we need also to put time frames to check on these. By end of month, I should have lost 1 kilogram. By end of this, I should have saved this amount of money if the plan is about saving and investing and whatever. So you need to have indicators that you put that will show that you are on the right track, but also put dates that will keep for achieving some of these milestones. Then, what review dates do you have regularly, or you can? So you need to have some review dates that should be able to show you how far you are. So you say every 2 months, I will sit back and do some review. But also, you need to have an accountability partner, a partner who will help you review. So while you are doing all this, you need to. So in all the sectors, is it career? Is it you need someone to? Because with career, maybe your boss could do it or a friend at work to see how you are, so that you keep reviewing. And then at the end of it all, how will you celebrate the milestones of your goal? What achievements are you having to show that what milestone, like how are you going to celebrate? I was just sharing with someone that one of the challenges about our health is many times we hit our targets health-wise, but we fail to celebrate them, but also to see how do we keep in that keep there, so that we don't backslide. Yes, so basically this is a planning framework that you can use for any of the as you plan for your next year. You just need to have down those goals and then go through that process. Then the next slide. All right, so this is an example. This is we just need to have an example of health. So if we are planning for health, so what is our goal? What is my goal? My goal is to reduce weight by 5 kilograms from the current 70 by 31st. This is an old, so maybe 31st December 2025. So that is the goal that we have set by 31st. So why is this goal very important? That's the other thing. I need to stay healthy for me and my family, because the family needs you. It's as a breadwinner, you don't need to die before before you so you don't need to leave your children and what because of being unhealthy. So I need to stay healthy because I'm the breadwinner, and then also so I could do better to improve my health. Many times we are selfish with our health. We do whatever we want to do, and yet we have so many people who depend on us. And then we never think about it that, if I died today, there are people behind that I'm going to. So so they ask you to do exercise and stuff like that, and you don't need to. You don't think about that. So it's important. The why is because I need to stay healthy. So what actions will you take to achieve this goal? So I am going to do exercise 3 days a week now. Somebody was trying to, am I still on? Just need somebody to confirm that I'm on. Somebody was trying to.
Yes, you're on. You're on.
Okay. All right. So get a yoga app, and then share my plan with an accountability partner. I said it's very, very good, because if you don't share, then no one will even ask you. You just keep it to yourself. Many times we keep our plans alone, and then there is no one to give accountability. I want to give an example. One time I visited a nutritionist, and the nutritionist asked me to keep sharing what I eat every meal. So every meal I take a picture, send to her. Every meal I send. So when I started diverting, I started fearing to send the picture. But that way was a way of keeping accountability that we agreed on this. So I want to see what you're doing. So have an accountability partner for any of the goals that you've set. And then what will show, what are the indicators that you are on the right track? So one of the indicators should be lose at least 1.5 kilograms every quarter. So if at the end of the first 3 months, you have not reduced even by half or by 1.5, then you realize that, there is a problem. I think what I'm doing is not right. So you need to go back to your plan and say, I think what I'm doing is not right. So when when my exercise becomes routine, if I've been setting 3 days a week for exercise, once it becomes on the right track, that's an indicator. Then food budget for health. So you start having a budget for your health plan. So there is a budget for food, and you are looking at your budget and you're like, okay, I think I'm eating more healthy now. And then every small milestone hit, you celebrate and say, wow, I've achieved this. I've achieved this. So that it helps you move on. But if you don't celebrate, then you start having challenges. But once you celebrate, then it's okay. So when are you achieving the goal? So you say 31st December 2025. So that's the time you have put to celebrate the goal. So what review dates do you have? So you say the review dates, I will be reviewing either on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis, or mid-year. So depending on the plan that you have set, you need to have dates that are review dates that you set up. And then so at the end of the planning, you say, how will I celebrate this milestone? So you can take yourself out, you can go on a trip, you can buy yourself a gift so that you are able to celebrate and say, yes, last year I lost this number of kilograms and exercise and what. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to buy myself a very good workout kit. Yeah. So as Valerie Burton says, planning brings your vision to life. So you cannot, if you want to have a vision, I like architects, when they give you your plan of your building, they give you that artistic impression, and you're like, wow, this is where I want to stay. Yeah. Many times when reality strikes, it's hard to see but it also helps you to see whether you have achieved, because you have that impression, that vision, and then, yeah. So thank you very much. I just need to share what we do. Magesta is, for those who are joining for the first time, Magesta Training Associates is here to equip you with personal development, organizational development, and business development services so that you can thrive. And one of the things that we do to give back to our customers and friends is to do this personal development lunch and learn every last Thursday of the month. Only that I need you to take note that for next month, because the last Thursday will be a feast. We shall be in the festive season and people will be in the villages. Us to live well. So gratitude is very, very, very important. So on the 19th of December, we are going to talk about gratitude, and it's something that helps us in our personal development. So at Magesta, we have events that are coming up. Currently we are running a program with the vacists. It's a free program. Please ask your vacists to join. It's called Beyond Success, and we are trying to help these vacists to think about other values has been school and passing, but there are things that may have missed, things about their attitude, things about their relationships, things about their growth, their personal growth as young people. So we have it runs every Tuesday from 11 to 1. So we have different topics that we share in that Beyond Success. And then, of course, we have our usual holiday mentorship program, the Teens and Twins Day Out, that will happen on the 7th of December at Namgongo Choto. The flyer is there. For those who have the teens and twins, teens are 13 to 19, the twins are 9 to 12. They can come and we share, we have many things we teach these young ones just to help them focus, become better people and plan for their future. And we do it every holiday. As I said, this holiday, as closing the year, the last of the is on the 7th of December. So please register your children so that they can come and be part of this event. We also have a trip (14th of December). This trip is not about sightseeing only, but it's also to appreciate many of our children inside this city of ours, in these cities. We are, they need to have a different perception of life. So we are going to visit, sightseeing and stuff like that, but we're also going to learn and appreciate the life outside town. So we shall have interactions with the children out of Kampala. We are going actually specifically to Kasese, the Rwenzoris shall have a session with the children, but we also encourage that these children can be able to share with the children they find wherever they are, share something with them and have an interaction so that they can know what is life outside the city, how do they go to school, what, like everything. So please also register your children. We have, Fulgencia has shared something on, there is the registration for the Teens and Twins Day. Fulgencia, you can also share my number for those who want to get details about the trip. So those who want to register, please register your teens and twins for the Twins Day Out. And then also you can call me or WhatsApp me and we get the program for the trip. Otherwise, thank you very much. I now ask that whoever has a question can ask. I will be glad to answer. Thank you. Any questions, you can type in the chat, you can put on your microphone, because we are exactly 30 minutes past 1, and our lunch and learn is supposed to be for 30 minutes so that we can go and enjoy our lunch time. Any questions? Please, you can visit our website for Magester and give us a comment so that we are, we know that what we are doing is the right thing. Yes, somebody had put on the microphone. Yes, there is a review in the chat, so you can put our review, just type and give a review. Okay, there is no question. I hope because there is no question, all is well. So thank you very, very much for participating, for all those who have joined. Hope to see you again for the next lunch and learn about gratitude on the 19th of December. Yeah, someone logged in late, but next time better. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Elizabeth. And yes, thank you. Thank you for appreciating. We hope you enjoyed. So let's meet on the 19th of December for let's meet.